Last week, Rush Limbaugh discussed the Obama tax plan and how he felt that Obama was lying about who it would affect. Let's listen to his criticisms and see where Rush was going with this.
Obama says that most small businesses do not earn over $250,000 a year. That is clearly a lie. It is impossible. It cannot be true. Your own instinct, you in small business, know full well it can't be true. Now, the employees of small business might believe it. Most employees don't get to see the books. But if you're an employee of small business, and there are 5 or 6 other of employees in your small business, and that's a small business, just add up your combined salaries and find out if your small business has enough to pay them. If you're making $50,000 a year at a small business and there are 5 of you, that's $250,000 right there.
Interesting. According to Rush Limbaugh, businesses pay income taxes based on money they use to pay their employees. Let's see what else L. Rushbo has to say about the Obama lies.
And the genesis for Puerto Rico putting all this together was Obama at the town hall presidential debate saying this about his tax policies. And it's according to a CNN transcript. Quote, only a few % of small businesses make more than $250,000 a year. So the vast majority of small businesses would get a tax cut under my plan. Now, the U.S. Small Business Administration defines a small business according to its average annual receipts or the number of its employees. Let's look at the maximum average annual receipts by industry that a business can have and still be classified as small business by the SBA. Crop production of all types, $750,000. Keep that $250,000 figure in mind because every business that I'm going to list here, every small business is far larger than $250,000 in receipts. Yet Obama says most small businesses do not make over $250,000. So crop production, $750,000. Animal production, except for cattle and chicken and eggs, $750,000 a year. Cattle feedlots, $2.5 million. Small business. Chicken and egg production, $12.5 million. Small business, according to the SBA. Forestry and logging, $7 million.
I think you should see where I'm going here, and you should also see where Rush is going as well. Initially, when I heard this, I literally yelled at my radio in amazement as to how stupid Rush Limbaugh must be to believe what he's actually saying. I thought that when they tied half of Rush's brain behind his back for this broadcast, that they tied the knot too tight and cut off all circulation. But then I quickly realized that it is not Rush Limbaugh who is an idiot in this case. Rush just feels that every single one of his listeners are idiots. Why? Because he's trying to confuse them by interjecting the idea of gross receipts into the idea of profit. See, when a business pays taxes on its income, it gets to write off things like employee salaries, leasing costs for space and equipment, bills, and other types of overhead costs before it figures out what its net profit is. So why then does the Small Business Administration list off different amounts for gross receipts that certain businesses can have in order for them to be considered small? Well, different kinds of businesses have different types of overhead costs. The business costs of raising crops are probably far less than the business costs of running a forestry and logging business. And those amounts he lists are also maximum amounts. So there are probably businesses in those industries that make less than those amounts that he listed. But let's say a business has $2 million in gross receipts, is considered a small business by the SBA, and 10% of its receipts wind up being profit, which, from what I hear, is actually pretty good. This would mean that the business would have a net profit of $200,000 and would not get a tax increase under the Barack Obama plan. But the misleading does not stop there, folks.
Truth is that if he's going to implement a plan that people over 250 grand, personally or small business, subchapter S, filing on their personal return, if he's going to have a tax increase on anybody more than 250 grand, 99% of small business is going to get a huge tax increase.
Wrong. Businesses filing under subchapter S or otherwise are going to get to write off things like salary on other business costs before they get taxed on their profit.
I listed for you 17 categories of small business. Not one of them would qualify for a tax cut under Obama's plan.
Would it be too childish to say, liar, liar, pants on fire? Well, it wouldn't be as childish as Rush Limbaugh is being with his blatant lies in order to mislead the public on Obama's tax plan.
I just got a couple of emails. I checked them. There may be more than two, but I just checked. Rush, when you talk about receipts, a small business's receipts, $250,000 a year, are you talking about gross or net? Folks, you're asking the wrong guy. The onus here is not on me. You're asking the wrong guy. We don't know.
What was that?
We don't know.
Say that again?
We don't know.
One more time.
We don't know.
That's right, folks. He doesn't know. But yet he's prattling on as if he was some sort of expert. And that's the point. He doesn't know. He brought up this whole gross receipts thing out of thin air, but yet he's trying to pass it on as fact in order to mislead the voters, in order to get them to be scared to vote for Barack Obama, because he thinks for some insane reason that Barack Obama is going to tax small businesses on its gross receipts. If you believe that, you are an idiot.
Somebody needs to ask him, are you talking about receipts or profit?
Again, nobody has to ask Barack Obama anything. The idea that he would tax gross receipts is insane. Obama is saying that if businesses earn $250,000 or less in profit, not gross receipts, profit, that it won't see a tax increase. So here's a message to all of the ditto heads out there. Your leader, Rush Limbaugh, is completely misleading you, and he thinks that you're all a bunch of idiots. Either that, or Rush is taking the OxyContin again. Either way, he is flat out wrong. But nobody should be surprised that he is lying, because that is the only tactic that McCain's supporters seem to have left.
We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Here's your fine, zero. You won't pay a fine because zero.